All right, Tyler, Bellamy, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to chatting with you both.
Yeah, us too. Thanks, Denny.
So,
So excited.
Tyler, can you begin by telling us what we can expect from this benefit performance of your play Bonded?
Yeah. Um, it is well, from the play's perspective, it follows Emmett as he is facing a possible prison sentence after a second DWI offense, and his estranged older sister Nellie goes down to Texas to present a possible solution to get him out of it. But in doing so, they see each other for the first time in several years, and there is a lot of baggage there, and they unearth some family trauma that really has the ability to bring them together or kind of tear them apart.
Hmm.
And more than that, more than the play itself, I have the privilege to partner with the wonderful organization MenHealing. They provide resources for trauma and abuse survivors, specifically male identifying. And the work they do is just so incredible. So all the proceeds from this go toward them. There's a lot of themes in the play that kind of uh, mention on things that they do. That we have some crossover, a lot of it, and so it's going to be a really beautiful event from an artist's perspective, and then also just from their perspective of being able to get that out there and be able to talk about what they do.
Awesome, fantastic. And Bellamy, how does it feel to return to the New York stage for this production?
Oh, Denny, it's a dream come true. It really is. I mean, New York is my heart's home, and I've been away so long. And LA was really, really good to me, and I'm grateful for all those years and all those jobs and all those chances. And it's certainly changed my life.
Hmm.
But to be back in New York is a dream. And I've been looking for the right thing to sort of wade in on. And when I was lucky enough that Tyler reached out, and I read this beautiful script, and Tyler's been speaking about it from the point of view of what it's about, but I will speak on his behalf
Yeah.
for the reading. And it is so beautifully written. I mean, he's written, of course, a very topical piece, but what he's done is he's really just done a deep dive on these two characters.
Mhm.
It's an incredible opportunity for an actor, but also I'm so proud to get to be a part of something that moves a conversation forward, lets us all step out of our shame and into the light and find our community, and can benefit MenHealing, both the organization and the enterprise thereof.
Yeah, for sure. And what are you personally hoping to take away from this experience?
Oh, well, a lot of these themes touch on my life as well. So it's always the terrifying moment of you're like, can I speak that out loud? And the minute you ask yourself that, you think about how many people are asking themselves that in that moment. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can and I must. And what an opportunity. And so it was very difficult and very easy, yes, for
Good,
me.
good, good. And Tyler, is this Bonded's debut?
Yes, this will be the first public
Okay.
performance of it. Yes. And
Yes.
I mean,
Wow.
what a team, what a cast to do it with, right?
God,
Yeah.
this is so exciting.
I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled, and yeah,
Hmm.
I'm so excited to. This is my first time to work with Bellamy, and I I literally cannot be more excited
I
to
bet.
have my words read by such a talented actor, but then also to get to act alongside her. Like, what?
Dream come
Feel
true.
the same way. P.S. It is my honor to say your words and to get to act with you.
Well, Tyler, as the creator and writer of this show,
Yeah.
what was the inspiration behind it? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. So I'm so very fascinated by the concept of trauma bonding.
Mhm.
Uh, with my podcast, Have a Blessed Gay, that I worked in the past like couple of years really with religious deconstruction.
Mhm.
And within that world, uh, trauma bonding, that term is thrown around a lot, specifically in marginalized communities, those from the LGBTQ plus community, and also female identifying individuals specifically. Um, uh, Many of us face a lot of marginalization within religion, and we the wonderful thing about it is when stories are spoken and they are heard, then people can bond and we can uplift one another and create new kinds of traditions and new kinds of community that can be really inspiring and helpful in moving us forward as human beings. And that work within the religious deconstruction world really, really inspired me. I thought it was so beautiful. And then it kind of made me introspectively look at my own life, and I kind of realized, oh, well, I've actually had a lot of these trauma bonding experiences in my life, and they've been really pivotal moments in my life, have really shaped some of my most intense, beautiful relationships that I have now. And so I thought, how interesting would it be to kind of explore this in a very human way, to see these two people talk. I love family. I come from a big family, so family dysfunction is, very close and dear to my heart. And so I of course, as all wonderful ideas hit either in the bathroom or at the gym, this one was at the gym, and I was running on the treadmill, and it just kind of hit me. I'd had this story idea for a long time, but I didn't quite know the right avenue, the right road to take it on. And I, for whatever reason, it just kind of hit me so hard. The muse of art just slapped me in my face that of course it should be trauma bonding. And I just really ran with it. And here we are.
Great. And you said in a press statement that abuse and trauma survivor stories are seldomly authentically told through media. Why do you think that is?
I think there are many reasons. From an artistic perspective, I think it's very easy for artists to kind of fall into this, I don't know, idea of wanting to express themselves in a way that is artistic. And so what happens a lot is it becomes either overly romanticized or overly dramatized. And where that can be so very helpful to the artist, I don't know if that's always helpful to the viewer.
Yeah.
Great to express yourselves, for sure. Everyone do it. I'm all for it. But also, I just don't know what the point of that is all the time. And so, so to be able to look at it kind of like I mentioned before in a human way of just seeing a conversation, too, in this case, I think there's something actually very exciting about it and kind of thrilling, because we don't see genuine conversation all that often in media.
Yeah.
And so to have it almost is kind of unnerving in a really interesting way, just to be a fly on the wall where you might not feel that you should be listening to this conversation, and being witness to it, I think is hopefully going to be very beautiful. And then talking about MenHealing and their involvement in this piece, I think it is important just to note that, I think it's kind of common knowledge that 1 in 4 women experience sexual victimization in their lifetimes, but also 1 in 6 men experience sexual victimization in their lifetime. So the numbers are actually very similar, but we have so much stigma, so many stereotypes that are really rooted in misogyny and homophobia primarily, that keep these stories dampened and making people feel completely isolated. And so it was important to me to figure out a way to kind of talk about it without making it a theme, without making it like a preachy kind of a story, and making it accessible for people to approach and to leave with some common language to talk to one another about these topics.
Great, for sure. And Bellamy, would you like to add to that?
I was just thinking as you were saying, that was so beautifully said, Tyler. And it's all, I always just love hearing you talk about these themes in this work and your creative process. And so thank you for that. I will say what I responded to when I read it the first time was exactly what you described, although I couldn't have put my finger on it like that. I see it often. I see these stories presented in a way that leaves me out. And I think having gone through some of these situations, like you're just trying to survive the moment. And that means you're just trying to talk it through and make sense of it, like for yourself, or find yourself in it. What's your authenticity? Like, how are you going to take it the next step, much less the next breath? So it was so quietly seismic to just see that trusted to play out in a narrative. It was so beautiful. And the other thing that I thought to add also was something I didn't know before this at all. and MenHealing have the data to back this up, but men in particular heal much better in a group situation than one-on-one. So our attempt to foster community through this reading and through the work and through the words is really with that at our hearts.
Hmm. Great, fantastic. And speaking of men healing, what was their response when you brought this play to them and told them you wanted to do this?
Oh God, that was kind of nerve-wracking. It was really important to me very early on, though, to get feedback from the surviving community. I'm a survivor, and so obviously I can go into this being like, well, I relate to these themes, I relate
Mhm.
to these topics, but not everyone will, of course. But I wanted to get as many opinions on it and from as many perspectives as I could. Um, and Men Healing, they were really the second kind of group of survivors that I reached out to, and I was so drawn to them. Basically, what Bellamy was saying, their attention and their just passion and drive for community.
Mhm.
I wanted this to be based in community and surrounded by people from the beginning. And when I learned about them and their drive for community, and then also all the research that they do have surrounding it, and the benefits that I didn't even know existed, um, it was so inspiring. So when I reached out to them, um, they were enthusiastic to read it, and they really loved it. It
Good.
feels weird saying that as the writer, but they really related to the topics, and uh, we had some really amazing, intimate conversations surrounding the themes, and that's kind of been like I guess the reoccurring thing that's happened about this play is, and that's something very, very special to me, is being to have conversations with people who have read it so far and have
Mhm.
experienced it in any way. That seems to be a common thread, is that they want to then talk, um, which was obviously one of my primary focuses in writing it. So for that to be the initial kind of response, is to want to converse about the topics, has just been, uh, yeah, it's been the best.
Great.
And they're incredible people at MenHealing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Good, good. And now, in addition to Bellamy, you also have Brian Thomas Abraham in the cast, and it's being directed by the esteemed Thomas Caruso. Tyler, did you personally seek out everyone to be involved with this project?
I did.
Okay.
Um, However, I feel like uh they kind of also came to me in weird ways. Uh, Thomas was we had a mutual person who suggested him to me, and then I started to look into him, and I realized, oh, we actually had a ton of mutuals, as most people do in New York. It's actually a very small town. And
Yeah.
so um I did my digging around, and everyone and their mom praised Thomas to no end.
Mhm.
He is beloved. Oh my God. And then when we talked, there's always a concern when you talk to a director or anyone that's gonna, take your piece and kind of run with it in any way, that it won't be yours anymore, or it's a baby, it's my baby. And so when we chatted, it was just such a magical conversation, and he's so humble and great, and he just really believes in the script and the story and my vision for it. And it was just such an immediate click that I was like, "Ugh, this is perfect." And kind of the same with everyone else. I mean, at Bellamy, we have this kind of a cosmic thing that happened where I happened to meet someone who is a mutual friend earlier this year that connected us. She had just moved back to New York. There's weird things even in the script that are associated with Bellamy, even down to like the name of the character. It's like all these like little weird cosmic things that felt like a little freaky, but in the best kind of way. And that's really happened throughout. I mean, I even MenHealing, kind of how I stumbled upon them and got to know them. Just everything kind of fell into place. So I did search these people out, but then also not.
Yeah.
If that answers your question.
It just all kind of just worked out for the best.
Yeah, I mean that is really what it feels like right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bellamy, you kind of mentioned this earlier, but can you tell us a little bit more exactly why you agreed to do this show?
Oh my goodness. Well, like Tyler says, we have what I didn't know is a person who's very new in my life and new in Tyler's life connected us after, I'll brag on you, seeing Tyler's show at Soho Rep, whatever. um, and like I say, I had read a few things thinking about being here and wading back into this amazing theater community because this is all I did before I left and
Mhm.
what I loved with all my heart. But and you always do feel a part of the family because New York does not forget, but
Mhm.
also New York moves on. So
Yeah.
it was that push pull, and so I've been reading things and thinking about things and where might I fit, and but what always means the most to me is to get to be a part of something that has a higher purpose.
Yeah.
So when I read the script and the writing was so beautiful, and it also had so many higher purposes. And this iteration, hopefully, we raise a lot of funds and we raise a lot of awareness, but it exists now.
Mhm.
And the live stream will make it possible for so many people to take part in this event, but also become a part of this community. And it was just too lovely. Like I say, it scared me to death. And that's when you have to say yes.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. So the benefit reading is this Saturday, the 15th. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay.
you can be in person with us or you can meet online with us. And there's a great Q&A after to foster this sort of conversation exactly that we're having.
Awesome. So after this performance, what's next for Bonded?
That's an amazing question. It's a little up in the air, but the idea is to have a commercial off Broadway run with it
Mhm.
and kind of take it from there. That's what I'll say. But definitely to continue with it here in the city and to get it out there more to people.
Mm.
But really fostering community all the way. So I'm really excited to begin in community and to continue to grow it. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Well, Tyler, how can one stay up to date with you?
I'm most active on Instagram. Tyler Isaac Martin. That is Isaac with 2 A's. And you can also keep up with Bonded, Bonded the Play, on Instagram as well. And then if you want to check out my website, it's just tylerisaacmartin.com. So very easy peasy.
Awesome. And Bellamy, how can one stay up to date with you?
At Bellamy Young, wherever you go, I am of a different generation, so I post at a different rate, but I'm there
You're
and
there.
sending love.
Awesome. Fantastic. Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else either one of you would like to mention or plug at this time?
Hi.
I think I'm good.
The next thing I have coming up is Waltons. We've, done a new version of the Waltons for the
Okay.
21st century. So we have a Thanksgiving offering coming up next.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Tyler, Bellamy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Denny. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.